How to travel comfortably after 55 without paying first-class prices. Air travel has a funny way of turning "I'm fine" into "Why does my lower back feel like it filed a complaint?" You can love travel, be perfectly capable, and still notice that the journey hits different after 55. It's not fear, it's not confusion, it's the math of comfort. The same cramped seat, the same long walk, the same standing in line. But your body now charges interest. And the airline industry has a very simple answer for that. Pay more. Wanted a board with less chaos? Pay. Want space that doesn't fold you like a lawn chair? Pay. Want to avoid the overhead bin Hunger Games? Pay. Want a human being to help you when something goes sideways? Often, also pay, just in a different way. But here's the good news. First-class comfort is mostly a bundle of strain reduction. Less rushing, less lifting, less standing, less uncertainty. You can recreate a lot of that without buying the fancy cabin if you know where the strain actually comes from and how to block it. Welcome to Passport Pointers, where we turn travel stress into strategy and help you move through the system with more comfort and less nonsense. Today, how to travel comfortably after 55 without paying first-class prices. Why comfort after 55 is really about recovery. The biggest change after 55 isn't that travel becomes too hard, it's that recovery takes longer. A tight connection doesn't just raise your heart rate, it can drain you for the rest of the day. A stiff seat doesn't just feel annoying, it can make the first evening of your trip feel like you're walking around in borrowed hips. So comfort planning isn't about pampering, it's about protecting your recovery budget. If you do only one thing differently, make it this. Stop optimizing for cheapest or fastest, and start optimizing for least strain. That shift alone changes what you book, what you pack, and how you move. Book the day, not just the flight. A lot of discomfort starts before you even get to the airport because your flight time sets the rhythm of your entire day. Early departures usually mean calmer airports, fewer compounded delays, and a cleaner boarding process. The plane and crew are often already in position. Your chances of the day unraveling from earlier delays are lower, and when the whole system is calmer, your body stays calmer too. Late day departures can look appealing, but they come with a hidden cost. The day's delays stack up like bad decisions. If something goes wrong at 7 p.m., rebooking options are thinner, customer service lines are longer, and you're navigating the problem while already tired. If you're choosing between a slightly earlier flight and a slightly cheaper later one, the earlier flight often pays you back in comfort. Connections. Buy time with minutes, not money. The industry sells short connections as efficiency. For many travelers over 55, short connections are just expensive in energy. A longer connection gives you permission to walk at your pace, not the airport's pace. It gives you time for a restroom break without turning it into a tactical mission. It lets you sit down and reset your body before you sit down again. Here's the mindset. You're not wasting time on a longer layover. You're purchasing recovery with minutes. That's usually cheaper than purchasing it with upgrades. A practical rule, if you have a connection, aim for a buffer that allows at least one calm sit-down. Not a sprint and collapse, a calm sit-down. If you're 55 plus, what's your number one comfort priority when you travel? Fewer long walks? Less rushing, better seats, or smoother boarding? Drop it in the comments. We read every one, and it helps shape what we cover next. Seat choices that feel like an upgrade. You don't need first class to make a seat decision that changes the whole flight. Start with the simplest comfort tool. Pick the seat that supports movement. For most people after 55, that's an aisle seat. Not because it's glamorous, because it's functional. It lets you stand up without negotiating with strangers. It lets you stretch your legs without twisting like you're exiting a sports car. It makes the restroom a normal action instead of an awkward climbing expedition. If you're sensitive to turbulence or motion, seats over the wing often feel steadier than seats far back. If deplaning fast reduces your stress or walking load, seats closer to the front of the economy cabin help. And if you can't get a great seat, you can still improve the experience by improving your seat routine. Move your ankles. Shift your posture. Stand briefly when safe, and don't wait until stiffness becomes pain to adjust. Pre-boarding without the guilt spiral. A lot of older travelers could benefit from extra time boarding, but don't use it because of social pressure. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to feel like they're swinging something from someone else. So they board with the crowd, get bumped, rush, lift, twist, and start the flight already tense. Here's the reframe. Pre-boarding exists because not everyone moves at the same pace, and safety matters. If you need extra time to board calmly, to stow your bag safely, or to get settled without being pressed from behind, use it. You're not asking for a throne. You're asking for time. Time is the cheapest comfort upgrade in the airport. Packing for comfort. Remove the heaviest moments. One of the most physically demanding parts of flying isn't the flight, it's the lifting. Overhead bins require shoulder strength, balance, and speed in a narrow aisle, while people wait behind you. After 55, that's where a minor strain becomes a pulled muscle, and a pulled muscle becomes your entire trip. If checking a bag is an option, treat it as a comfort strategy, not a failure. It reduces lifting, reduces aisle stress, and reduces the need to fight for bin space. If you carry on, pack lighter than you think. The goal is not, can I lift this at home? The goal is, can I lift this overhead while tired in a narrow aisle with turbulence level impatience behind me? A small backpack plus a checked bag is often more comfortable than a heavy roller you have to hoist. Clothing that makes economy feel less economy. Cabins are unpredictable. Temperature swings, dry air, weird airflow. Comfort after 55 often starts with what you're wearing. Go for flexible waistbands, breathable layers, and shoes you can stand in without regretting your life choices. A light layer is insurance against cold cabins. Supportive footwear is insurance against long concourses. Compression socks can help with swelling and leg fatigue on longer flights. They're not glamorous, but neither is walking off the plane feeling like your calves are filled with wet sand. Micromovement is your secret weapon. First class gives you space. Economy asks you to be still. After 55, stillness is the enemy. You don't need a yoga routine in the aisle. You just need consistent micromovement. Rotate ankles, flex and release calves. Shift posture. Stand for 20 seconds when safe. Stretch shoulders and neck subtly. These tiny actions reduce stiffness and help circulation. The goal is to prevent discomfort from compounding, because once it compounds, it's harder to reverse. Use the airport like a recovery zone. Most people use airport time like it's a warm-up to the main event. Walk, stand, rush, hover, repeat. For comfort after 55, treat the airport as a recovery zone where you intentionally reduce strain. Sit when you find a decent seat, even if you feel too early. Hydrate before you're thirsty. Eat something small before hunger becomes irritability. If you need the restroom, go before boarding starts, not during the boarding stampede. And if you're choosing between standing near the gate just in case and sitting comfortably nearby while keeping an eye on the screen, choose comfort. You can still board when your group is called. You're not required to suffer preemptively. Make the app work for you, not against you. Digital alerts are useful, but constant checking keeps your nervous system on high alert. Set a simple rhythm. Check your gate and boarding time at key moments. After check-in, after security, when you arrive near the gate, and before boarding begins. Save a screenshot of your boarding pass and gate info so you're not dependent on a momentary signal issue. This reduces cognitive load, and cognitive load is physical load because stress makes your body tense, and tension makes everything feel worse. When to spend a little without paying first class. This isn't a purity test. Sometimes spending a small amount creates a big comfort return. The rule is, spend on strain reducers, not status symbols. Paying a modest fee to choose an aisle seat you know will help your body, that can be worth it. Paying for a longer connection if it prevents a sprint and an all-day recovery hangover, often worth it. Paying to check a bag so you don't lift overhead, frequently worth it. But paying for a bundle that adds things you don't need just because it's labeled comfort, that's how airlines win twice. The ground game that makes the whole day feel easier. Comfort isn't only what happens on the plane. After 55, the most exhausting trips are the ones where every transition is a surprise. The rental car shuttle that's a hike, the rideshare pickup that moved to a new level, the hotel check-in line after a late arrival, The long walk from baggage claim because you followed the wrong ground transportation sign. So give yourself 2 quiet upgrades that cost nothing: a plan for how you leave the airport and a plan for what happens when you arrive. Before you fly, look up where rideshares pick up at your arrival airport and how long it typically takes to get there from baggage claim. If you're renting a car, note whether the facility is on-site, connected by train, or requires a shuttle. If you're being picked up by family, agree on a specific door number or pillar instead of "I'll be outside." On the destination side, aim for a hotel or lodging option that reduces strain on your first night. Elevators that work, parking that isn't a marathon, a room location that doesn't require dragging bags down the 3 mystery hallways. You're not being picky. You're preventing the "I survived the flight, and now the rest of the day finishes me" scenario. A simple comfort kit that doesn't look like a medical conference. You don't need a suitcase of gadgets. You need a few small items that prevent the most common discomfort spirals: dry cabin air, stiff joints, and low blood sugar crankiness. Keep an empty water bottle to fill after security, a small snack that won't melt, and any essentials you'd hate to dig for mid-flight in a pocket you can reach without twisting. If you're prone to stiffness, a small scarf or light layer can double as lumbar support. If you get cold easily, layers beat suffering in silence. The trick is convenience. Comfort items only help if they're easy to access. None of this is glamorous. That's the point. It's comfort that works quietly. Arrival is the real scorecard. The goal isn't to feel okay while seated at 30,000 feet. The goal is to arrive with enough energy to enjoy your trip. Comfortable travel after 55 is about protecting your first evening, protecting your next morning, protecting the reason you traveled in the first place. So plan for recovery, build time buffers, reduce lifting, choose seats that support movement, use tools like pre-boarding without guilt. And remember, you don't need to tough it out to prove anything. You're not auditioning for a travel documentary. You're trying to arrive feeling human. If you want more strategies like this, practical ways to travel better as your needs change, watch the next Passport Pointers video that's popping up on your screen right now. Thanks for watching Passport Pointers, and I'll see you in the next video.